Manny Pacquiao, one of boxing's all-time legends, has fans around the world eagerly speculating about his next move. After months of teasing a return to the ring, the big question on everyone's mind is whether he will face Rolly Romero in October. While initial discussions pointed toward a Pacquiao-Romero showdown, the situation is far from settled, leaving the boxing world buzzing with theories, alternative matchups, and speculation about what could be the Filipino icon's final chapters in the sport. Rolly Romero, a rising star in the welterweight division, recently captured significant attention after impressive victories that demonstrated his power and resilience. Romero's aggressive style and knockout potential have made him a natural candidate for a high-profile fight against a legend like Pacquiao. In theory, this matchup would generate massive excitement and pay-per-view revenue, combining the veteran prowess of Pacquiao with the youthful dynamism of Romero. Fans had hoped that an October date could deliver this clash of generations, but the reality is more complicated than simply arranging the bout. The key complication stems from Romero's mandatory obligations within the World Boxing Association (WBA) framework. The organization recently mandated that Romero defend his welterweight title against the undefeated Shakhram Giyasov, the top contender in his division. This mandatory defense effectively sidelines a Pacquiao-Romero matchup for the immediate future, as Romero must honor his obligation to the WBA before engaging in any voluntary bout. The timing makes it highly unlikely that an October clash can occur, though fans continue to hold out hope for a last-minute agreement or rescheduling. With Romero temporarily unavailable, Pacquiao's camp has been exploring alternative opponents. One contender under consideration is IBF welterweight champion Lewis Crocker. Crocker, undefeated and hungry for recognition, presents a compelling alternative. A fight against Crocker would offer Pacquiao the opportunity to remain relevant in the title picture while also showcasing his legendary skill set against a fighter eager to prove himself on the world stage. Negotiations are ongoing, and while nothing has been finalized, Crocker represents a credible and exciting alternative to Romero. Adding another layer to the evolving landscape is the rescheduling of the WBC super welterweight title fight between Sebastian Fundora and Keith Thurman. Originally slated for October, the fight was postponed due to an injury sustained by Fundora. Reports indicate the bout is now expected to take place in January 2026, possibly on the undercard of Pacquiao's return. This reshuffling could create a major event that combines Pacquiao's comeback with a high-stakes title fight, amplifying the excitement for fans and adding strategic flexibility for promoters. Pacquiao himself remains focused on making a memorable return rather than rushing into an October fight. At 46 years old, he is acutely aware of the need to select the right opponent and the right timing. His legendary career, spanning multiple decades and weight divisions, allows him the luxury of choosing fights that preserve both his legacy and health. While Romero would have been an electrifying opponent, Pacquiao's team understands that fulfilling contractual and organizational obligations, like Romero's mandatory defense, is part of the complex ecosystem of professional boxing. Speculation continues around potential alternative matchups beyond Crocker. Promoters and boxing insiders have suggested several names, including other rising welterweights and established contenders seeking a marquee fight. Each option carries different risks and rewards, from financial incentives to stylistic matchups that could either favor Pacquiao or challenge him in unforeseen ways. For a fighter of Pacquiao's experience, every choice is calculated, balancing career legacy with competitive integrity. Fans also speculate about location and event logistics. Las Vegas remains the most likely venue for Pacquiao's return, given its history of hosting legendary fights and its capacity to draw international audiences. The event's timing, whether in January or later, will influence ticket sales, broadcast arrangements, and promotional strategies. Combining a Pacquiao comeback with a Fundora-Thurman showdown or another high-profile bout could create one of the most anticipated boxing events of the year, ensuring maximum exposure and fan engagement. From a stylistic perspective, Pacquiao vs. Romero promised an intriguing clash. Pacquiao's speed, footwork, and signature combinations contrast sharply with Romero's power and unorthodox approach. While Pacquiao has slowed slightly with age, his technical mastery and ring IQ remain unparalleled, making him a dangerous opponent for any fighter. In contrast, Crocker offers a different kind of challenge, an undefeated prospect with strong fundamentals and the hunger to make his mark. Both scenarios promise entertainment and technical intrigue, highlighting the strategic decisions facing Pacquiao's team. While the October date appears increasingly unlikely, anticipation for Pacquiao's eventual return continues to build. Boxing fans worldwide are eager to see how the Filipino legend will perform, who he will face, and whether this fight could mark the beginning of the final act in his storied career. Regardless of the opponent, Pacquiao's comeback is a testament to his enduring skill, dedication, and charisma, qualities that have defined him as one of boxing's all-time greats. In conclusion, while a Pacquiao-Romero fight in October seems improbable due to mandatory title obligations, the conversation surrounding Pacquiao's next opponent remains dynamic. With potential alternatives like Lewis Crocker and the rescheduling of other key bouts, fans can expect an exciting announcement in the coming months. Pacquiao's return, likely in January 2026, promises high drama, strategic intrigue, and unforgettable action, continuing the legacy of a fighter whose name will forever be etched in boxing history.